Hi, and welcome to another edition of the Sustainable Scoop. One of the hottest topics right now that people can't stop talking about is immigration in the United States. The word of the year for 2016 was xenophobe, and that is going to be explained to us by my guest today, Smokey Stevens. Can you tell me a little bit about the film that you just put together?
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you for having me here. My film is entitled America, an Immigration Nation. And in this 30-minute documentary, we show and describe the history of immigration to America, and we describe the four great waves of immigration that occurred throughout American history. Unlike other films on this subject, we also show how nativism began in the middle 1800s and how it affected almost every immigrant group that came to the United States.
So these are all important facets of your film, but one thing I really want to understand is what prompted you to make this film? Was there a moment where you decided that, you needed to look deeper?
Yeah, after the failure of the passage of the Comprehensive Immigration Reform Bill, which was a bipartisan bill of Republicans and Democrats to address the immigration problem, that bill failed, and the Republican-controlled House refused to bring that bill up for a vote.
So you wanted to bring light on this. You wanted to bring some light to the history of immigration in the country. So let's talk a little bit about these four waves. What
Okay.
were the four waves?
Well,
How did they unfold?
okay. Well, the first wave began in 1585 with the forced migration and immigration of millions of slaves from Africa. And the number of slaves that were brought to America outpaced European immigration for 200 years, from 1585 through the middle of the 18th century. African slaves were the dominant people who were or who migrated to the United States.
And there's a lot of history and influence that took place in their lives because of that. But because we're so short on time, keep walking me through that.
Okay. So that was the first wave with the forced migration of millions of slaves from Africa. Beginning in 1820 through the middle of the 1800s, that's when we found or saw the first surge of European immigrants coming through the country. That was the second wave. From 1880 through 1920, over 27 million people from Scandinavia, Europe, the Far East immigrated to America via Ellis Island. And the fourth wave of immigrants, or the fourth wave, occurred in the middle 60s when we had the first surge of non-Europeans coming to America, which were Hispanics and Asians.
Okay, and all of these immigrations took place, the development of the word nativism, and how did that impact the people who lived in the country and their perspective of the people who were immigrating?
Okay, well, the people that lived in the country were the nativists, because the people who, let's just say, the Irish, those Irish individuals who were born here in the late 1700s, early 1800s, when the new Irish started coming in the middle of the 1800s, between 1820 through 1860, those American-born Irish did not want the new wave of Irish to come into the country. So they actually became the very first nativist against their own people. But all American sentiment and that nativist sentiment was not just focused in on the Irish, it was focused in on the Chinese, who were here doing not slave labor, but the Chinese virtually built the transcontinental railroad. And then we had the Italians. When they came in, they were also, so most ethnic groups that came into the country at that time were viewed as interrupters of the American system, which created that feeling of nativism. We have to protect ourselves from everybody new coming in.
And this seems so contrary to what America is supposed to be about. Bring us your weak, your needy, your helpless, and we will give everybody an opportunity.
Yeah.
So people have seen your film, and it sounds to me like the results are a lot of great conversation. Tell me about the reception.
Well, we completed the film in September, and we had our initial screening at the Prince George's community station, the other cable access station out in Prince George's County. And we had over 100 people attend the screening on that particular night. We passed out evaluation forms for them to answer certain questions about their knowledge of the immigration problem and what they thought of the film. And the response to our film has been tremendous. And we just did a screening last Monday at the W.T. Daniel Shaw Library in Washington, D.C. And again, the response was tremendous. But what I found was a lot of people have immigration on their minds. And we generally have a conversation after the screening, and I was really surprised.
Well, it seems to me like this is going to be an opportunity for a lot of communities to talk. So how can they learn more about you and find out about your film? Just a quick
Okay,
wrap
we
up
have a Facebook page at Immigration Nation 2016. Any activity that we are involved in regards to the film is on our Facebook page.
Excellent. Okay, so tell me again the name of the film.
The name of the film is America, an Immigration Nation.
Thank you so much, Mr. Stevens, for your passion and your work on this film.
Thank you, Miriam, for having me.
Thank
I really
you.
appreciate
And
it.
I want to thank you for watching The Sustainable Scoop. I'm Miriam Gennari. Back to the news desk.